So what my role here is at school is managing everything that goes on here in our Earth Centre. So that's from the culture that we try and cultivate throughout the school, as well as the curriculum that we look to deliver in-house to all of our students. This is one of our ecology zones here that we have on site. It's a series of smaller spaces around our school site where we look to enhance the teaching that goes on in school, so that they're able to look at sustainable practices, ecological ways of doing things, as well as environmentally friendly practices linked to food and biodiversity around site. We're really fortunate to have the space and the staff to be able to look after a facility like this. However, this is very much achievable in smaller spaces. As you can see behind us around our shed, there is a smaller version of our larger beds, which obviously can fit in smaller playgrounds, inside classrooms, even if you downsize it further onto windows. So being able to embed this kind of resource into the lessons and the learning that we give our students means that we're able to enhance their understanding of the world around them, soil health, pollination, and even down to where their food comes from. It's worth looking at your site with new eyes, because any small space can be used for outdoor learning or increasing a connection to nature. This space was underutilised, and we've revitalised it to focus on outdoor connection and learning about the environment around us. So about 6 or so years ago, this field was leased to a local farmer. The school decided they wanted to take it back, and in partnership with the Biosphere, planted these 3,500 trees. Now, it wasn't done by staff, it wasn't done by the Biosphere. Every tree planted here was put in the ground by students and through community action days with our local community. The idea behind it was to alleviate flood risk for Bideford whilst increasing biodiversity in the Kenworth Valley. The trees selected were to try and mimic the trees that you see behind me, so that we can create a native natural woodland that matches the environment around it. So as you can see, it's already really taking root, and we've seen massive benefits in terms of the wildlife we've seen on site, with deer, with butterfly, with birdsong, and the wildflowers that have been growing through as well. So this is a good example of a use of space. We unfortunately lost these trees during the storm. It's been repurposed to house one of our bug hotels. Students designed this, chose what substrate to put inside, best enhance bugs, creepy crawlies' lives, so that we can create a safe haven for them here on site. So this space is used by our boarders, by our preschool, by our forest school, and members of the community when they come to use our facilities. Our beehive behind us is a hollowed out tree trunk, and although on 3 legs designed to be attached to trees, there's lots of different ways that you can choose to manage that. Now, although presented in this kind of sense, rooftops often present useful opportunities for weather data stations and the potential of increasing pollinator in new areas. So behind me we have our propagation, so we're growing tomatoes, chilies, peppers, cucumbers, and this was all planted by the students during their lessons, looked after the students, soon to be potted on, planted out, and eventually eaten by our students as well. Things you could look at doing would be understanding how people get to and from school and the associated carbon in that, fast fashion and trying to increase the use of second-hand clothing and swap shops within school. And both of these have been really well received by our students, getting them to think a little bit harder and a little bit differently about things in their daily life.
I'm Jess Carter from Impact Media and Training. I'm so grateful to Jack Harty for showing me around the Earth Centre at Kingsley School in North Devon. Such a stunning site and so much potential for environmental learning. There's loads that we can take away from it. With my sister company, Planet and People, we have visited tens of schools across Devon and seen loads of environmental champions who are doing great work for the environment in their school. Here are a few takeaways. It's important to develop a culture of change, and this can be done in leadership, curriculum, and operations. Even if just a small way in each, building upon it year upon year, eventually this develops a whole systems culture of change where environmental action is normalised within your school setting. Maximise the potential of your setting. Use what you've got to really boost biodiversity, to make savings in terms of energy and water and waste, and really look at it with an environmental lens. Share your space. Share your space with other species. We are part of this. The more that we can bring nature onto our setting, we have loads of opportunities for learning and playing our part to boost ecological health and well-being. Enjoy the benefits of the outdoors. Outdoor learning has numerous benefits, and there's a huge case for learning in the outdoors. If there is any way that you can use your space and be outdoors as much as possible in whatever you're doing, this is only going to benefit your students. Involve the community. Take time to think about how you can incorporate community action, whether it's going out and doing some tree planting or collaborating with community action groups near to you. Just by making a few small changes and putting environmental action into the heart of everything you do, and it might not be perfect to start off with, but these small changes can lead to much bigger changes. If you need support on boosting environmental action in your school setting, please get in touch.